welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out. Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about. Well, the names have all changed since you hung around, but those dreams have remained and they've turned around. Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Who'd have thought they'd lead ya? Back here where we need ya. Back here where we need ya. Yeah, the G's in my life, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome.
What's going on? Welcome back. Stretch. Okay. All right. Oh, that's good. Welcome back. So hopefully that last work session was a productive one for you. For me, it was. I actually got this thing working that I like to demo right now. So previously, let me, what am I going to do here? Let me try to figure out how best way to show this. So, no, that's not what I'm going to do. So like I mentioned before, I have this site that I created, right? Where is this? Share the screen. Okay, I'm probably gonna have to. Should I share the whole thing? I think I'm gonna share. I think I'll share the entire screen. Maybe. Yeah, sure. We'll see what happens. All right. Hopefully it doesn't break anything. Okay, so here is the site I created, untilit.works. I'm gonna add a link to this. And a thing that I was doing was that I was adding. I showed it last time. I did a lightning talk at a meetup recently on view transitions. So it's like 4 quick lightning talks. So I can throw up slides there real quickly and be like, hey, check this out. And you can kind of like scroll through them. All right, cool. Now, what I wanted to be able to do, like with my other slides, like on my talk slides, conference talks and workshops, people can vote. And it's like real-time voting. So from their viewer page, they can like vote. It'll show up on the slide. So I wanted to add that to this. And that's what I was just working on the last break session. Like I want to show it. So let me, now it's super like mad basic right now, right? But here we go. Hopefully that shows up. Yeah, it should show up, right? So here on the left side, where's the mouse? Here on the left side is the like the slide, right? And then here on the right side is what the viewer, like once they scan the QR code on their phones, they'll see this, right? And I'm able to, so I showed the admin part before, but you can see I can like go between, like from the admin, I can change the slides, right? So this is the slide here with the votes. All right, cool. So now I have these things here. So what would be on the page is kind of like different options. They could be like yes, no, or like different things like, hey, you want to try this out, vote now, or whatever, right? So what they'll be presented with is, I wanted something that'd be kind of compact. So I went with a select, because this should work with regardless of however many options there are. And so I wanted something kind of compact. Now, if it was just maybe like 2 options, I could probably just put like 2 buttons here or whatever, right? But for right now, this is just how I have it. And I don't think I'll ever have more than like 1 poll on a slide. So if I run into that, then I'll figure something. But I don't think I'll ever have more than 1 poll on a slide. Each slide is basically like a web page. And so if anything, I just have another page load or something. But all right, so here we are. So we got option 1, option 2. I got some progress bars here, and then the value. So right now there's 0. So normally I would have, after the person votes, I would make this button like disabled so you can't vote multiple times. But for right now, just to kind of test this out, I didn't do that. So let's say you want to vote for option 1. Cool. Bam. See right there? Oh, you know what? It's going to say for, oh, wow, okay. it saved it from the previous times. Oh, I didn't even think about that. Because what I'm doing, I'll show in the back end. But the thing is, right now, okay, I think if I refresh this, if I refresh that, try it again. Okay, now I get one. So what happened previously, when I was playing around with it before, I'm sending ephemeral events, right, of a certain type. And I guess it stores those. Yeah, that's probably what happened. It probably stores them until I refresh the page. Oh, I didn't even think. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I'll have to play around with that more. But so you can see option one went. Let's try option two. Now you see they're even and both have one. Let's say I voted for option two again. You see that went up. Let's do option two again. All right. Go back to option one. So you can see it's updating. Cool. So that's basically why I wanted to work. All right, great. I have to figure out why it went to, I think it's because, but the ephemeral event should have just been like a one-time thing. There's no reason for it to store that. So yeah, so that's something I'm going to figure out because that's weird why that 4 was there. I'll have to figure it out. But for right now, you see, when I actually do this, it'll refresh, it'll be 0, and it'll be fine. So there's that. So I figured let's take a look at the code, I guess. So I did some stuff that I've never really done before. And so it's pretty cool. And I'm using, so everything is built on top of Astro. And I'm using for the real-time communications Vonage, because that's where I work. And this is stuff I kind of work on. And so what I did was, I'm going to show it. I'm just waiting for it to load in my Stack Blitz here. Waiting for it to load. I'm probably going to have to, probably have to install this thing here. Okay, that's loading. Let me show you what I'm doing here. So I'm loading up Stack Blitz. I've been coding this whole thing all in Stack Blitz, by the way. And pushing it, when I push it to the GitHub repo, then it deploys to Cloudflare, which is what I'm using to host it. I don't need this part. Cool. So here's the code. So, right, why does it work JSON changed? Oh, that's weird. Okay, so we're in the demo. We're on slide 1. And here you see I have this slides poll. And so this is kind of handling all the stuff. Now in the markup, I have a lot of random stuff. In the markup here, I have the a UL, an unordered list called poll. And then I have the different options here. So you see option 1, I have the progress bar. And then for the value, the count here. Cool. Now, and the same thing for option 2. Now, what I'm doing is, so in this, and you see here's the component slides poll. So if I take a look at that here under the components, slides poll. So here, so I'm using AstroDB, so that's where I'm getting I created the conversation there, right? And so I'm getting the conversation that way. I know which, like, where to connect the two. So the viewer and the slides, and me controlling it in the back end. So they're all in one conversation. So here, what I'm doing, even before that. So in the slides navigation, which is, I have so many random things open here. Close this, close this, close this. In the demo, so you see I have the slide navigation here. The reason for that is that when I'm not presenting, that shows the arrows so that anybody else who goes to it can do it. When I am presenting, those arrows go away. There's the QR code, and so I have some code for that, which is in the slide navigation here, right? So all that. So I check to see if there is a conversation, because if there's no conversation, that means I'm not presenting. And a lot of I don't like load any JavaScript. It's just like all HTML, CSS, and that's pretty much it. So they loads quick, right? But if there is a conversation, that means I'm presenting, and so I load this the Vonage client SDK, which is used to create the conversation and connect everybody, you know what I'm saying, to that conversation. That's what the client SDK does. Cool. So then I have like the navigation links, like I said. So if there is a conversation, I show the admin thing here. Otherwise, show the links to navigate left and right things, right? Previous and next slides. Then I do this stuff for the transitions thing. I had to do this stuff to make it work. It was kind of a lot, but basically I'm putting an Astro Navigate on the window object, so that way I can call it when I need to transition. I was getting this weird thing where it wouldn't let me do it. I'm not sure what happened, but I had to do that and make it work. So here we go. So I have a conversation, so that means I'm broadcasting, right? That means I'm doing a presentation. And so here I have to do like this is raw, like don't mess with my script. It's inline, don't bundle it. And then I have this data Astro rerun. It's a thing for the transition stuff. All right, cool. So I instantiate a client, and then I get the JWT so I can then join the conversation, right? So I create a session, and then I get a session ID, and this is where I did this thing, right? So I have so similar to the navigation, on the window object, I set this Vonage client with my client there. So that way other components can use the client. So that way everybody can like be able to tap into the session to be able to communicate, right? Because slide navigation and slide poll, you see, are two different components. So I needed a way for slide poll to be able to have access to this client, and I'm doing it through the window object. All right, and so then I have this thing. So once I have all this, and I do this, because I was running into an issue that slides poll would load, but there would be no client for it to use. So for it to kind of like wait, so it'll load, and then it'll wait for this event that I have here, a Vonage client ready. And that, I don't know how to send it without like any information or anything. So I just said name good to go. I just some sort of details in there. I'm not sure. I never really played around with it without sending anything to detail. Like I guess detail could be empty, but I just put that there. I'm not sure. Then I dispatch it. And so once it's ready to go, once this has happened, put it on the window, I dispatch it. So then in slides poll, I can then listen for it, which I have, where do I have that? Here. So on the window add event listener, I'm listening for that Vonage client ready. And then from there, I know, cool, I got the client, I get it from the window object, and I'm listening for events of poll vote, right? So some ephemeral events that are going to be sent through the conversation. I'm listening for poll vote. Cool. Great. Yeah. Cool. So poll vote. All right. So then what I do then is from the viewer. So let me show you the viewer. Demo viewer slide. So here, you see I have the poll here. So choose an option. And then I have the select, the drop down basically. So the value option 1, option 2. And then I have this button that sends it. I'm probably going to have it to where, because you have this class here, poll button. Right now, I have it kind of like just listening for that one poll button to be pressed. But what I'll probably do in the end is look for all the different, where is it? So I'll have it listen for all the different buttons, and then using the IDs of the button, then determine which poll option am I sending that the person's voting for. Because all the viewer stuff is all in this one page. So there's multiple sections just within this one component. And so if I have multiple polls, I would have to either, do this a bunch of times or just do it by the class and then iterate through it. So here's the poll 1, and then I'm sending the vote. So the vote is the value of the select, and then I'm sending a type of poll, and I'm sending an ephemeral event. Cool. Then what I'm doing is, so that's going to send the event, which here on the slide poll, I'm listening for that poll vote. And then I've got the vote, is what I called it here, like right here. And then I go to handle votes, which is right here. So I update the total, and then I update the votes option by 1. I increase it because the option is the input. So as long as like the viewer and here here have the same like ID, I'm good to go. So that's another way of being able to kind of tell the difference between the different polls. I could probably do something like that, or I can just what I'll probably do is I have to work that out. But I think I could probably leave them the same as long as it's on a different page. It should be fine because of like reset. Cool. So yeah. So slides poll. So I handle the. Why does this thing keep popping up? So I handle it. I do a bunch of console logs so I can see stuff. So I increase the total. I increase the vote, the option vote that was sent through, and then I update the poll. So that is up here, and again I have a bunch of console logs. And then for each poll options, which is the poll, the LI, and the progress. Because the way I have it set up is that you see I have the ID poll, and then I have the options. So the LI, the label, the progress, and then I have the span. So here I'm getting all the poll options, which is the hashtag poll, which is the UL, the LI, and then within the LI, the progress. And that's how I get all of them. And I set the ID of the progress to be the option ID that I'm passing through. That's how I'm determining what votes are being sent. So that's how I get, hey, I'm setting up a votes object where the key is the option ID, and I'm setting it to 0 to start off with. So that's why I'm able to here increase the votes, which starts up at 0. Well, I mean the totals. The total starts up at 0. I increase it by 1 every time that the handle votes come in. The votes object, I'm taking the option, which again matches with the progress ID. I'm increasing that value in the votes object by 1. And then I'm console logging just to make sure. And then I update the poll, which is like updating the UI. And so again here, why is it it's not popping up? So I'm going through all the different poll options, which I set before, through all the different progress. Taking each option, I'm calculating a percentage, right? So I'm taking the votes, the option ID, the value, dividing by the total, multiply by 100, and I'm setting that value to the progress bar. And then the inner text, I'm actually explicitly saying like, hey, percentage and the percent sign. Then I'm updating the count that's next to the progress bar. And so I'm just query selecting, and everything is like named like a certain order. So I'm taking the option ID hyphen count. So whatever it is, whether it be option 1, option 2, whatever, it's if you put hyphen count, it will show you the count next to it. And so I'm putting the inner text of that to the votes of the option ID, and that's how that all works. And yeah, so some vanilla JavaScript, like nothing too much, nothing too wild. And yeah, that is how I put it together. Cool. And so if I go back to it, it's going to show it again before I send you all back to work. So that goes all into this here. So if I choose option 1 again, see now they're even. Option 1 again. And it's really quick. And so that's all through the Vonage APIs and conversations and things. But the SDK, which is what I work on, like my main task, that's what kind of makes it all a bit easier there. So, because it's a lot of stuff. Like, again, the stuff I see behind the scenes, woo, it's wild. So shouts to the team that puts that together. and I kind of like help out with some stuff whenever I can. But yeah, so that's how that works. Cool. So that's what I've been working on. I'm glad it got it done pretty much. That's pretty dope. So yeah. You know what? Hold on. Let me try something. Let me refresh this one more time. See if I get anything weird. Let's go to option 1. Okay, no, that worked. It might have been something out when I was playing around with it. It didn't work before. But it looked like it's working. That is awesome. All right, cool. So, but yeah, that's what I was working on. Hopefully, you are what you're working on is making some progress. I'm gonna get you all back to work so you can get back to that progress. Thanks for hanging out. Let me know what you think. So I have voting. That's pretty much done. What I want to be able to do that the prize wheel that I sent before, I'm going to create a way for people to enter. It'll show like a name, like a fake name on the prize wheel. So you'll be able to say enter. It'll generate a fake name. Then that fake name will show up on the prize wheel. And then I'll spin the prize wheel. And then whoever it lands on, it will notify them as well. So that, they get like, hey, I won or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, basically that's what I did in my workshops and other thing, but I'm carrying it over to here now. So cool. And the way I have everything set up, they can be separate like components I can just drop in every once in a while. So yeah. So I'm pretty happy with that, how that turned out. Let me know if you're working on anything like that. And yeah, let me get y'all back to work. There is a slide here. Cool. Thanks for hanging out. I want to come back. We'll take a look at our website, maybe watch some videos, listen to some tracks, and maybe you'll become a fan. All right. So speaking of fan, I'm a big fan of this artist. It goes by the name of Nujabes, R.I.P. Nujabes. The track is featuring a Pani B. It's called Thank You. And like I said, when we come back, we'll take a look at another artist's website. All right. So till then, I wish you much productivity. Y'all be easy. And peace. Thanks.
Let me start from the heart. I just want to stay. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. But let me start from the heart. I just want to stay. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. I thank you all for showing love to me. I appreciate this unique opportunity. I'm gonna rock so hard you never stop supporting me. I'm gonna show you how music is more meaning to life. But let me